So the Area 51 meme is already old. Frickin' go die. Stop it. It's already old. It's done. Stop it. It's over. It's done. I'm trying to date this podcast as much as possible.
It's working.
So in that vein, let's talk about that new show Amphibia, and we're gonna all be good friends talking about all the newest shows. That's a lie. You don't know what Amphibia is?
What?
It's the new Disney show, man. It's all about frogs.
Excellent, dude.
It is frog.
I'm a big fan of frogs, I guess.
But no, it was a lie. We're not talking about that shit. We're talking about Adventure Time.
We were talking about something that occurred in the last 10 years. I don't think so, buddy.
I don't think so. We're not talking about new memes.
What do you think we are? What do you think we are? Some kind of normies or something? I don't think so. We don't talk about it. While you mere mortals slave away to these new trends, we mine the past for these rich wonders that you like foolish nearsighted hooligans have ignored for long periods, and that has now crystallized into even more sweet substances.
Indeed. And today we are continuing our journey into Season 1 of Adventure Time. And oh boy, do we have some good ones today.
Oh yeah, this was when the goodness crystallized, man, it concentrated itself. It concentrated itself here, okay.
We got some good stuff going on. Let's just jump right into it.
We gotta jump right into what is life.
Which, last episode, we discussed how crazy of a episode title this was, and how we literally had no idea what was going to happen. And even going into it, we still had no idea what was going to happen.
Until, you get tipped off, finally.
Eventually, jeez. I mean, even a few minutes into the episode, I still didn't have any idea what was going on. It opens with Jake bringing in a garbage bag full of butter and throwing it on Finn. And it's the most epic prank anyone's ever pulled.
As Finn admits, nothing's better than throwing butter onto somebody. Nothing could possibly top that, dude.
It's just... I mean, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, man, that was a good prank.
That's a pretty good prank. We see Bimo again, but he still doesn't say anything.
Bimo is not sentient yet.
He has not awoken to true greatness, which is funny, which means that basically Neptr came about first.
Neptr's...
But Bimo became like the real one.
Yeah, Bimo became the real Neptr, basically.
Bimo's the real boy. Everyone knows that.
That's true. Neptr is definitely the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, even though he sort of came first.
Kind of older.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Sort of. Man, I'm just looking ahead in the textbook here.
Neptr can't play video games. He's just a loser.
He can throw pies. I can't find any.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for the first Bimo episode because I'm having Bimo withdrawal right now. I miss Bimo. He's such a good boy.
Bimo isn't even around until like season 2.
I know, but we'll get there. But first of all, anyway, in this episode,
we have Neptr's glorious origin story where, Finn in his quest to prank Jake really hard,
prank him to
throw pies at his face infinitely. Basically just slams a bunch of junk together and it gets struck by lightning, bringing it to life and sentience.
Indeed.
In form of Neptr.
Never-ending pie-throwing robot.
Yeah, never-ending pie-throwing robot. Neptr.
And Neptr is all about this prankster lifestyle. He is John Egbert. Neptr, the ultimate prankster bot. He's ready for battle, but unfortunately he is...
Prank battle.
Yeah, unfortunately, he sucks. He isn't fully operational yet.
Because, he's just a pile of junk.
He's just a pile of junk that was struck by lightning. So I guess it makes sense that he's not at full capacity quite yet.
Right. So Finn comes up with a plan to get him back to full capacity. After Neptr briefly questions all his creator and why he's been born as a cripple.
Indeed. So he decides he needs to go to Ice King, who shoots lightning, in order to find his stash of lightning bolts and hit Neptr with another lightning bolt to get him to full power.
Because, lightning brought him to life, therefore he needs more lightning to make him better.
Indeed.
This is how robotics work.
Yeah. So after a brief scene of him sneaking around the Ice King's house, Neptr gets struck by light. Oh yeah, you want to talk about the monsters the Ice King has?
Oh, right. Yeah, so they're sneaking around Ice King. But the most important thing is he's got these cool ice monsters that I don't think we ever see again.
No.
Which have, like, ice bodies, but, like, organic organs of animals inside of them.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
And that monster was followed immediately by a giant ice centipede with lasers.
With lasers. So awesome.
It's just the coolest thing. And it's just those guys. They just show up and then they're gone.
They just show up and then Finn beats them up and then they're gone.
But during the battle, Neptr gets attacked by Ice King. Yeah, and Ice King's like, an innocent bystander. Aha! And he shoots him with lightning and makes Neptr even more powerful.
Oh wait, that's what we wanted to happen anyway.
Yeah. So Finn and Neptr escape using the help of the balloons.
Yeah.
It's like, yay, we get to die!
You have fulfilled your blood oath.
Those balloons.
Yeah, those balloons. I mean...
Never trust balloons.
Never trust balloons. They'll steal your wallet.
They're the most epic of pranksters.
Yeah, they're the true masters of the prank.
But anyway, Neptr is suddenly having princess-stealing related thoughts. His Ice King's influence has infected his robot brain.
Ice King's lightning.
Yeah. Which is why Ice King shows up, he's already inside Finn's house somehow. Yeah. He's already there. He got there first somehow.
He knows a shortcut.
Indeed. And so he tries to convince Neptr to join him in his princess kidnapping lifestyle. Yeah, they go to Ice King's imagination zone, but Neptr decides that he sides
with Finn.
He wants to be the ultimate prankster.
Yeah, he needs to devote himself to the pranking life.
Which I don't think that ever really comes up again.
No.
I mean, never. He's always Neptr, the never-ending pie-throwing robot, but I don't think he's much. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does do some pranks later on.
Maybe. Finn sort of loses interest in pranks, I guess.
Yeah, and also loses interest in Neptr, who he later I don't know, he just goes out and finds him buried there.
He's buried in his dumpster.
Oh, I remember now when he comes back, he's like, Master, I've been playing hide and seek for years or something.
Oh, Neptr.
Oh, Neptr.
You suck.
And of course, it ends with never-ending pie-throwing robot throwing pies at Jake, never-ending forever.
Yep, and that never actually ends. He just keeps throwing pies at Jake.
And then we get to Ice King's dream, where he's hanging out.
He's just hanging out with Neptr.
And he's like...
He always wanted a son.
Yeah, should we go kidnap princesses now, Father? No, Neptr. Let's just stay here a little while longer. And poor Ice King, I feel sorry for the man. He is a broken man inside, as we all know. Even back then, even in these early seasons.
What a loser.
But this is the origin of Neptr. He doesn't show up again for a long time, but he does. But when he does, he comes back with a vengeance.
Can't wait.
Yeah, he's a pretty fun character, that Neptr. Anyway, moving right along.
On to Ocean of Fear.
Ocean of Fear. Finn and Jake fighting a salamander, farting on him because that's the retribution for stealing boots.
That's what happens when you steal boots. Everybody knows that. But the point is, we discover Finn's fear of the ocean that he didn't have
until now. But he has it now.
He has it now. He's been possessed by the spirit
of the Fear Feaster.
The Fear Feaster.
And boy, is this a problem.
Yeah, man.
So luckily Jake is there to help him out. And by help him out, I mean drown him.
Yeah, so Jake initiates his 3-step program.
His 3-step, 5-step program. And the first step is stranding them both in the middle of the ocean. Just to get them acclimated.
Yeah, he does a pretty good job. Slowly acclimates them to the water.
And he's like, the ocean is your friend, man. And now you're surrounded by miles and miles of your friend. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But yeah, luckily, what happens next? Finn freaks out and beats up Jake.
He beats him up. And then They go to the island.
the island that is like the destroyed building of the past world that still remains. And Jake's like, man, I think we should give up. This
is too hard.
But after agreeing not to beat him up and also to rhyme for the rest of the episode,
they take a submarine that Jake finds behind a rock.
And they take it to the bottom of the ocean. Where Finn freaks out again. Blows up the submarine.
Yeah, blows up the submarine. Very good.
And strands Jake at the bottom of the ocean. And now it's up to him to go rescue his brother. So he knocks himself out with a wrench, obviously.
Yeah.
And uses that to get to the bottom of the ocean and rescue Jake. So he hasn't truly conquered his fear. But he has conquered the fear of his fear. And that's the most important part. That's the most important part.
He conquered his self-doubt.
Indeed. And, a limousine with a bunch of ghosts
show up. With a bunch of other Feisters, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what they are.
Yeah. They're the wise men.
that live inside Finn's
Shut up! We know a lot!
And they tell Finn not to worry about it.
You are a hero.
And that's how the episode ends.
I think that was the Ghosts of Christmas Past, Present, and Future,
You know what?
actually.
It probably was. Oh, yeah. And I almost forgot, at the beginning and end of this episode, they have just these quotes about fear.
Yeah, from
somebody.
He was like the episode director or something.
Yeah, I can't remember his name right now, even though he's the guy who did over Patrick McHale. He did over the Garden Wall. He's a great guy. He just had some quotes at the beginning there just about fear in general. And excellent theming. Congratulations.
Yeah, great work.
Great episode theming there. Good work, guys. That was Ocean of Fear. Pretty funny episode. Finn's fear of the ocean does come up later.
Yeah.
A few times, I think. At least once.
And then he conquers it.
And then he eventually conquers it, I think in season 6.
Yeah, jeez.
If I remember
when they were running out of plot threads to tie up.
I mean, I guess it was anyway. Let's get moving right along.
Whatever. Moving on. We're going to When Wedding Bells Thaw. I thought it was about to be Toll, but then I read it and it said Thaw.
Yeah, When Wedding Bells Thaw. Ice King is getting married.
Hooray!
Hooray for our lonely Ice King friend. He's getting married to a princess who likes him back for real.
Yep. But first...
A bachelor party.
First, a manlerette party.
Yeah, a manlerette party. It's basically just this weird montage with this kind of catchy song.
Where Ice King just gets into fights everywhere.
Yeah, he just goes...
Ice King just goes places and starts trouble.
But, it's what he needed. Except it isn't, because it convinced him that maybe he doesn't want to have a wedding.
Maybe he still wants to kidnap.
Yeah, maybe he'd rather kidnap princesses. But then, after watching a swan eat another swan, he realizes that marriage is beautiful.
He realizes that marriage is all about eating your partner.
Exactly.
So he decides he does want to get married.
And that's what it's all about.
So they go to the wedding, and big surprise. The bride is actually mind controlled by a magic ice ring.
Of course.
Obviously.
We all saw it coming, really.
Yeah, I mean, she's got like the cool bars in her eyes.
Yeah,
cool.
She's got the bars.
She's like a mini herself in her own eye.
That was pretty good, yeah.
That was pretty loud. I like that.
Thanks. And of course, they defeat the Ice King, and that's the end of the episode.
It's a pretty simple episode, but it's like there's that really funny part where Jake gets his body frozen, but his arms are free, so he's still moving around, doesn't block eyes, because he can just stretch around.
And there's also just, like, the weird, like, serious bit where they're like, Jake suddenly questions the meaning of marriage, and he gets all philosophical about it.
Yeah, it's just, he's like, oh yeah? He's like, marriage is beautiful. He's like, oh yeah, why? And he's like, well, oh man, he really got me there.
He's like, why? And then he just has a bit of an existential crisis. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's a really simple episode, but it's really funny.
It's just funny episodes, man. Alright, what's up next?
Dungeon.
Where Finn decides he needs to go on a solo quest in this dangerous dungeon.
He makes a bet with Jake that he can go and get the eye of...
In 11 minutes.
In 11 minutes. The eye of diamonds? I don't know what it was called.
The crystal eye.
The crystal eye.
Which didn't look like an eye.
No, it was not eye-shaped at all.
But it turned out that it was like containing a bunch
a bunch of flaming eyes in it.
I only just got that. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
really.
Great.
It only just
glad we're
occurred
all on the same page here.
It only just occurred to me, oh yeah, that must be why it was called the crystal eye. I'm an idiot. But anyway, Finn goes on an epic journey into the dungeon on his own, and he faces a bunch of trials that he's not quite as magical enough to overcome.
Oh yeah. Well, first he faces the trials that he easily overcomes.
Yeah, like jumping through traps and doorways and creatures and chambers.
And challenges. And trials.
Even though he's truly in his element in the dungeon.
But then he gets beat up by a cat.
Yeah, he gets beat up by a cat.
Which shakes his self-confidence a little bit, but then he gets beat up by a gnome, and that really shakes his self-confidence. I mean, getting beat up by a gnome, that's really bad for anybody's self-esteem, honestly.
Yeah, and then the cat comes back, and he's gonna beat him up, but then he's rescued by an angel that turns out to be evil.
Angel, who turns out to be gonna eat him. Okay,
yeah,
great.
Of course.
But luckily, Jake is already in the pot that the guardian angel drops Finn into, so they team up. To beat the rest of the dungeon. And they get a newfound respect for each other.
Yeah, newfound respect. Oh yeah, because it turns out Jake also went through a bunch of trials that he couldn't defeat somehow.
Yeah, he couldn't. They were really hard for him somehow, even though he probably could have just turned really small and run past them.
Yeah, but anyway.
But you know,
they decide
regardless of that.
They team up. Luckily, Jake has his key hand and his lock hand.
Key hand and lock hand were on deck, so they make it out of the cage with that. And also,
more like they just dropped the cage on the angel.
Yeah, they dropped the cage on top of the angel, killing her in the process, thankfully.
Yeah, so now she won't eat anyone ever again. Hooray.
Great. Anyway, but I mean, she was guarding the eye of the beholder, or the crystal eye.
You know, she probably was a good person.
Yeah,
because she was trying to keep people from releasing the evil fire eyes.
Exactly, that's what I was about to say.
Which they do. But luckily, Princess Bubblegum shows up on her swan that shoots lasers and defeats them all. And they all fly away into the sunset. Princess Bubblegum, away!
On the swan.
And man, this is one of those episodes that makes me think, oh man, this is such a cool world. There's like dungeons all over the place. There's just a hole in the ground.
Dungeons are just like a function of the world.
Yeah, there's you can like jump into a hole and end up in a dungeon with a bunch of traps, puzzles, and enemies to fight. And
they just hang out down there.
This is the reason an Adventure Time video game could be cool if they ever did it right. Which
it's impossible.
I haven't played any of the 3DS ones, but they're probably garbage.
No, they're probably bad.
I played the one that came out for the Switch, and that one was a train wreck of epic proportions. And I only played like 5 minutes of it before it became too horrible to bear. So, that was sad. Adventure Time video game needs to happen. It could be great, but not that one.
Not that.
Moving along.
Yeah, whatever. We'll do a podcast about Adventure Time video games later.
We'll do a Let's Play of Adventure Time, the video game.
The video game, the movie, the video game.
If this podcast gets
I will never
views.
play Adventure Time, the video game. I will only play Adventure Time, the movie, the video game.
Indeed.
The video game.
Right.
The adaptation of the video game. Into an RTS.
Into an RTS. That's my favorite kind of game.
I wanna play as the commander of the Candy Army going to war against the Fire Army.
That sounds like a
great RTS. I think that's the game you were thinking about when you were talking about the perfect Adventure Time game. Anyway, moving on to the dungeon. They defeat the dungeon. The cat is pretty cool.
I like the cat. It's got like a cat as its tongue that is a cute cat. But
it's like an anglerfish.
Yep. Except it's a cute cat.
It's a cute cat. It's got like part of its arm missing.
What is it? It has approximate knowledge of many things.
Approximate knowledge of many
He just says,
I know almost everything. I know where you might be hiding.
Jim the human. And Jack the dog. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's my new favorite character. Never comes back. Oh well.
Unfortunately. And it's just the cat, too. It doesn't even have a name.
Yep. Moving right along. What's next?
The Duke.
the Duke of Nuts.
The Duke of Nuts.
And this episode, Finn and Jake are throwing potions around.
Disposing of some potions, I guess. Maybe they went bad.
They just have a wheelbarrow full of potions that they're just throwing to see what they do.
I mean, I always just imagine that, Princess Bubblegum has a massive excess of potions that she's created, and some of them just expire after a while. So she's just like, hey, Finn, you want to throw away these potions for me?
Yep. But one of the potions happens to be boomerang shaped. And so...
I thought it was shaped more like a banana.
Well, it was a boomerang.
Yeah, it's actually a boomerang.
Because he throws it, and it curves around and hits Princess Bubblegum in the face through a window.
Yeah. It actually flies like 100 feet up in the air, and then directly through a window into Princess Bubblegum.
That's how boomerangs work.
And also happens to be some sort of, horrific acid attack.
Yes. It's an ugliness potion, I guess. That hits Princess Bubblegum, turns her green, and gets rid of all her bubblegum hair.
Very tragic.
Oh no. And of course, who else gets the blame but the
Duke of Nuts.
The Duke of Nuts.
The scapegoat for all of the Candy Kingdom's problems. Princess Bubblegum thinks that she can keep blaming the Duke of Nuts for her problems, but it won't work this time.
Well, he did eat all the pudding.
He did eat all the pudding. And doesn't he turn out to be evil?
But he has a condition. So it's okay. I don't think he... What? When did that happen?
I don't know. The whole time I was waiting for it to actually turn out for him to actually be evil.
But he never did.
But he never did. Yeah.
He just...
But that makes me think that he shows up in a later episode and actually is evil.
Yeah, he has a condition.
Yeah, he has a condition, alright. I don't believe a word from this guy.
And anyway,
he seemed fake the whole way.
Princess Bubblegum declares that she will never forgive anyone who did this to her.
Never!
So Finn decides he's not going to admit that he was, in fact, the bottle thrower. And Princess Bubblegum goes a little insane. A maniacal laugh, just freaking out. That was pretty funny.
But she will not rest until the Duke of Nuts is brought to justice.
Indeed. And so Finn and Jake are off to find the Duke of Nuts. And they find the Duchess of Nuts, who is insane. And talks to Nuts.
He just talks to Nuts all day, so they get out of there pretty quick.
And it's funny because she's nuts.
She is nuts.
Did you get it?
Funny.
Did you get the joke?
Yeah, I got the joke.
But they're attacked by the Duke of Nuts' son. Or actually, they chase after his son.
Oh, yeah.
They both go left. This is a confusing episode. But anyway, they defeat the Duke of Nuts. Actually, no.
They defeat the... what was it called? The... something? Yeah,
he's like the Duke of Nuts' son. I can't remember what his name was.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
He was a legume, isn't he?
I don't know.
I think it was something about that.
They're all legumes.
Anyway.
Whatever. The point being that Finn eventually, upon seeing that the Duke of Nuts is a nice guy...
He's overly nice,
in fact. He's overly nice, in fact. Suspiciously nice.
Indeed.
It seems like an act, but Finn falls for the act.
Indeed.
And...
so they come up with an ingenious plan.
A plan that can never fail.
To both keep Finn off the chopping block and also save the Duke of Nuts from Princess Bubblegum's wrath. And that plan is to stage an assassination attempt in which the Duke of Nuts... Wait, hold on. I need to remember what happens exactly.
So Jake pretends to assassinate, or attempt to assassinate Princess Bubblegum, but... upon seeing her, says, "Oh no, this isn't Princess Bubblegum, she's green."
And then the Duke of Nuts shows up and says, "And that is how I, the Duke of Nuts, saved you potentially by throwing the potion at you." Princess Bubblegum is not convinced.
What a great plan!
I think that was the greatest catch-22 of a joke, because you think okay, so they're trying this act. And they're going to have, the Duke of Nuts come in and, beat up Jake and save Princess Bubblegum to earn her favor. And, Princess Bubblegum isn't buying it. But it turns out that's not the act. No, that's not the play. The play is that they're staging a hypothetical situation for her in order to convince her that it's a good thing after all. And that's how this episode goes down. But anyway, Finn admits that he was in fact the bottle thrower all along. And Princess forgives him because...
Of course she does.
Of course she does. Finn's an alright guy. He doesn't
But to make up for it, Finn and Jake go to the royal meeting of the
royalty.
And
in Princess Bubblegum's stead.
In Princess Bubblegum, while just wearing Princess Bubblegum wigs, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if she had wigs.
I like how they both go as in like, yes, we are both Princess Bubblegum.
Yeah, I mean, if she had wigs, she could have just painted.
You know what?
herself
She could have just. Why didn't she just wear the wig?
Yeah.
This doesn't make any sense.
Immersion ruined. Next episode.
Wait, no, it's not over because
they get attacked by the legume and
the legume of nuts
and the squirrel.
And the squirrel that is Jake's mortal enemy also shows up.
And that Jake never learns anything about and never realizes exists.
I think that squirrel comes back a few times throughout the series.
Yeah, of course he does.
It's just the Jake hating squirrel.
The one that I remember most readily is she's on the mountain that they have to go up in Normal Man.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It just sort of shows
That's
up.
all the way in like season 7 or 8.
Yeah, that's near the end.
Jeez Louise. You know, it'd be really great if he never shows up in between then. I think he does.
No, he does.
Yeah.
I remember
I'm pretty sure he does.
Of him appearing.
But it would be so funny if the squirrel if the Jake hating squirrel showed up in this one episode in season 1 and then one episode in season 8 and then never again. That'd be so great.
Because it definitely doesn't show up for a while. And that's what makes this show amazing. And they remember this stuff. Like, the people who write this show don't forget what happened in the beginning of the season. Even though it goes off in these crazy directions.
Yeah, it isn't.
That was never intended from the beginning, obviously. But it's clear that the people writing it are like, they're also fans of the show. So they bring back stuff. Like the Jake hating squirrel.
Like Jake hating squirrel.
Oh, it's wonderful. And finally, we move on to the last episode of our little episode of the podcast.
Freak City!
Freak City! The introduction of the one, the only, Magic Man. Magic Man! That little flash that appears on screen when he shows up is like blinding, and it's still imprinted on my eyes. But you know, Finn and Jake are just walking through the woods and walking by saying walking, just as they walk through the woods.
Walking.
And then suddenly a mysterious hobo shows up.
A mysterious starving beggar approaches.
What you buying, stranger? He shows up, asks for some food. Finn's got some sugar on him. But he really likes sugar, but he decides to give it up anyway.
I'm all about sugar.
Yeah. Decides to give it up. Just so he can help out this poor, starving beggar. The beggar turns out to be none other than Magic Man himself.
Magic Man.
And they're like, oh, wow, yeah, whew. Didn't see that coming. And then Magic Man
rewards Finn.
Well, no, the first thing he does is a bird flies up, lands on his fingers, and he goes, magic, and turns the bird inside out.
Magic, and turns it inside out.
And it falls to the ground.
And also, horrifyingly, keeps it alive, so it can suffer as long as possible.
It's pretty awesome.
Great work, Magic Man.
And then Jake was like immediately, man, I'm scared. And it's like, now I'm going to give you a magical gift. And he turns Finn into a giant foot.
Yep.
Which...
Well, he's actually more like a foot centaur, because he's kind of like a foot from the waist down.
Yeah. Well, not like just a foot from the waist down. A
giant foot.
Foot.
He's actually more like he's growing out of a giant foot.
Pretty much, yeah. Like there's more foot than there is Finn at this point.
He turned his legs into a giant foot.
Indeed. So now he's hanging from a giant foot.
Mostly immobilized.
And this is not okay. Magic Man says, I'll turn you back once you realize how much of a jerk I am. And then he flies away and the giant fireworks explosion that says, eat it.
That's pretty funny.
And then Jake is all like, oh, this is fantastic. You're a foot now. And he's very thrilled with this.
Yeah, Jake is just all about being a foot.
He's all about this turn of events. So they decide to go kick some monsters in the crotch.
With a crotch launching catapult.
Which, and this giant monster just so happens to be walking by.
Jake knows his stuff. He knows how to trap.
Was it evil? Who knows?
Well, but... he said, "Ow, my evil crotch."
You know what? You're right.
He's obviously evil.
I guess he must be evil.
Yeah, idiot.
And then Jake was like, all right, let's go set up a bunch more of these traps all over the place. And Finn's like, no, I don't want to be a foot anymore. But then Finn, they go to rescue a burning village. Jake goes to save the babies. But only the babies.
Only the babies. Of course.
But all the villagers think that Finn's a freak, because he is.
While their village is on fire, they decide to take time out of their day to go throw this freak under the bridge.
But suddenly, under the bridge, they find...
The rest of the freaks.
They got Gorp, the head with one eye.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, some other guys.
I mean, looking at it, Finn got off pretty good in terms of Magic Man transformation.
He could have been worse.
He kept his whole body, at least. His upper body.
So did Gorp, mostly, honestly.
Well, did he? What did Gorp... No,
Gorp pretty much just looked like himself, except without arms and legs. So he's kind of the same.
I guess so. But it was just
He was pretty much just like a head with arms and legs.
But now he's just a head.
No, he's just
except a head. Giant. Anyway, they're in this... And,
they're just like wallowing underneath a bridge, basically.
And that's what they just decided to do with their lives after Magic Man turned them all into body parts.
Not much else to do, I suppose.
And Jake convinces Finn, you know what, just hang out here, brother. It's like, hey, Gorp, can we waste away in this trash pile with you forever? It's like, do it up, man.
Do it up, man.
It's like, awesome. And then Finn's all like, stop bumming me out, Jake. You're gonna make me give in to depression. It's like, well, what you gonna do about it? Probably nothing if you're depressed. It's like, maybe I will do nothing. And then he sings a song.
What a beautiful song.
Indeed.
Whatever. But
Is this really my life?
Doesn't make it on the album, so it's worthless.
It did.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it did.
Oh.
This one, I really actually liked the song in the album, because they added a whole bunch of extra instrumentation to like the second half of it, because in the thing only the first little bit had instruments, and it's actually a banger now. We should listen to it after this podcast. It's pretty good.
Yeah, whatever.
But anyway, Finn sings an inspiring song about being a man and not letting life get him down.
And kicking people.
And he decides to rebuild these myriad limbs' self-worth.
By building them together.
Indeed.
By kicking them together strategically.
Yep.
He builds the other body parts into a full person.
Into a horrifying monstrosity of a person that was terrifying to look at.
It was actually, even more terrifying than they were normally.
Yeah, and then Jake forms the pants.
Jake is the pants,
And just then, none other than Magic Man returns. And they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, they just beat on Magic Man for, like, the rest of the episode, basically.
And then Finn's all like, I understand the lesson. I should have helped you without trying to get anything in return.
Like, nope.
And it's like, nope, that's not the lesson. And it turns out the lesson is that you shouldn't give...
Magic Man is a big jerk.
Magic Man is a jerk. And this is a great lesson to teach the children. That is a great lesson. Because some people are just assholes.
Don't trust Magic Man.
Don't trust the Magic Man. Don't give sugar to beggars.
That's a really good life lesson.
They're gonna turn you into a foot.
Oh yeah, and don't feed the homeless.
Don't feed the homeless.
Also great lessons for children.
Oh, this is my favorite episode of the season 1 so far. I love Magic Man.
Yeah, Magic Man is pretty great.
Maybe it's just thinking forward to all the glorious misadventures we have with Magic Man in the future, like when he returns to Mars and we meet with
his homeland.
We meet Abraham Lincoln, King of Mars, and also the time when he stole Jake's sandwich, and also the time when
he becomes normal man.
And they have to like climb to the top of a mountain to face off against
Tiny Manticore.
Magic Man, you have so many memories. And we love you, even though you're a jerk. He's just an insane person. Oh, Magic Man. And the episode ends. Everyone gets turned back to normal after they realize that Magic Man's just a jerk. He turns them all back.
And the other people decide to just attach themselves to each other.
Yeah, they never show up again, so we never learn how that turns out.
Yeah.
Which is fortunate, if you ask me. But then Finn's all like, Jake, what the heck, man? Why were you trying to make me be a foot? And it's like, secretly, I've always wanted to be a foot.
Yeah, Jake reveals his deepest, darkest secret.
And then
he's always wanted to be a foot.
And then Finn's like, dude, I saw you turn into a foot twice yesterday. Yeah, and you'll understand when you're older. So, I don't know. Does Jake have a foot fetish? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, his girlfriend doesn't have feet.
Yeah,
that's
true.
A huge problem for him. But that's the end of these 6 episodes that we watched.
Yep.
Finn and Jake continuing their adventure. Are we almost done with season 1? Yeah. Yes. We're one more episode and we'll have finished off season 1 of Adventure Time, and man, some good memories.
Yeah.
Good memories.
We'll soon be done with the first leg.
Yeah. Let's see. What we got next? We got Donnie.
Yeah, I remember Donnie.
I don't remember.
He's the grass goblin.
I remember Donnie.
Grass troll.
Oh man, I can't wait for Henchman and Rainy Day Daydream.
Oh, Henchman is so good.
Oh yeah, that's the Marceline episode.
Marceline one.
Oh man,
that one's great.
We'll
get to that later.
We'll get to that.
Anyway.
But we're giving you a sneak peek of next time on the Adventure Time Retrospective Podcast. It's a heck of a podcast. And man, these episodes are fun. It's just fun.
Anyway.
Next time we'll talk about all the new shows you millennials like.
Yeah, next time.
You Zoomers.
Next time you see us, we'll be talking about the latest trend in, I don't know.
Talk about
fashion or Instagram or something. I don't know.
You know, that new show Infinity Train looks cool.
Next time on the meme review. Let's
on the meme review.
Meme review.
No, it's Meme Zone.
Meme Zone. Fact Zone out.
Meme Zone in. Alright, we're done. Thank you all for listening. And have a good night. I hate you.